Well, good evening. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Thanks for being here tonight, and thanks for being online for those of you watching the live stream. This band before you is the 8th grade band. So these guys have been playing for about 2.5 years now. We're excited to play a few different songs for you tonight. First of all, for those of you here live with us, please make sure we're wearing our masks the whole time. I know it's annoying. It's just the world we live in right now, but that's okay. I am so happy that we are able to give this live performance tonight. If you follow the arts or anything around the world, I mean, a true live performance is a rare treat these days. And so thank you for letting us being able to do that by wearing masks and staying apart from each other. You'll notice as a band that we're also wearing masks almost the entire time. We're wearing bell covers, we're wearing face shields, all kinds of stuff just so we can continue making music. I'm really happy that we're able to do that for you tonight. So we're going to start with a song called Dreidl Adventure. A dreidel is a four-sided little toy that's kind of like a top, mostly used during Hanukkah season. It's also the name of the game that children play with it. It's a game of chance. And so I'm going to read real quick the notes that the composer wrote for this song. It says, playing with the dreidel at Hanukkah can be more than a game. In the mind of a child, it can be an adventure. Strategy is plotted, risks are taken, and the battle ensues. This fanciful premise inspired the spirited setting with intense rhythmic drive of the beloved melody Svion, or the dreidel, all within the ability for us to be able to play that. And then he says, game on. So this is just a fun little adaptation of that famous melody. So this is Dreidl Adventure. Our next song is another traditional melody. This is called Dona, Nobis, Pacem. This is just kind of a famous Christmas melody that you would hear in churches and just around the world during this time of year. It's a really pretty piece. This arrangement features the clarinet section, all one of them, And so we also add in some other woodwinds and stuff to help that out. But this is a really fun song for us to play for you. So this is Dona, Nobis, Pacem. Yeah, it is much harder to play a soft, gentle, pretty melody like that than the first song that we just played. So I'm really glad we were able to do that one for you this evening. I knew when I picked it out, I was like, oh yeah, they're definitely ready for a piece like this. So sounds so simple, but that's a really hard thing to do. So they did a really great job with that. I have quite a few things I want to talk through real quick before we get to our final piece already. It's crazy how fast these concerts go because they're separated like this. With just the world that we live in, we have to continue to do that. So if it means, though, we can continue to have concerts, I'm all for it. That's fine. I'll do 80 10-minute concerts so we can do that. The first thing is, usually around November every year, Indiana Bandmasters Association hosts an honor band. We usually go to either Whiteland or Greensburg for that. And every year, we usually have a couple middle schoolers that try out for it and are selected for it. This year, of course, we were unable to do that. They still went through the audition process, but we just didn't have an actual performance. And so we did have 2 people, though, that were selected, and they don't know who they were because we haven't had anything since then yet. So the first person that was actually selected to be a part of this, and I believe this is the 2nd year in a row, is Emma Murdoch. So come on up. And then the other person we had selected to participate this year, if we would have had it in live person, was Desiree Freeman. So hopefully we'll be able to get back to that tradition next year of having those events live. IBA hosts a middle school version of that and a high school version. And so tomorrow night, make sure you tune in tomorrow, 6:30 and 7:30 p.m. for our high school concert, and then our jazz band concert Many of you will be here probably for the jazz band concert because lots of these guys are in there. But we'll show you who was selected for the high school honor band tomorrow night. Speaking of the live stream, I do need to thank a few people for making that happen. When we realized that we were only going to be able to have parents show up live in concert, we were concerned about that, and I was like, oh, we'll just live stream it. It'll be easy. And it wasn't, but we got it happening, which is awesome. But mainly thanks to one other person helping me a lot with that, Mr. Todd Trimble, who's up in the sound booth right now running sound and everything else for us. We've put a lot of hours into that, and I would not have been able to do it without him. So if you could give him a round of applause, please, for his work with that. And then it's a pretty special family. His wife also is the one that decorates our stage in the outside lobby area. She was the one helping out today for your what would have been vouchers and finding your seats and stuff, Mrs. Trimble. But obviously, she puts a lot of work into this auditorium as well. If you give her a round of applause, I'd really appreciate it. And lastly, thanks. I'm trying to thank the students as well, because wearing these masks and bell covers is a pain. Trust me, as a teacher, we spend a lot of the day saying, put up your mask, please put on your mask, please stay away from each other, don't touch me, go away. And that's all I do all day, and sometimes I teach. But these guys do a pretty good job of that. It's rare in 8th grade band that I have to tell someone to put up their mask. I do have to tell them to stay away from each other all the time, but that's just because they love each other so much. So can't fault them for that, except for during a pandemic. So anyway, I really appreciate your help with that and their help to make that happen. Like I said, I firmly believe we would not be having a live event if we were not continually doing that. So thank you. And as 8th graders, now we're starting to think of high school next year already. I know it seems like forever away, but it's not. And I just want to mention, marching band is right around the corner again. And I would love to have all of them involved next year because it's an awesome event. But just putting that plug in now, just think about that. But jazz band tomorrow night, so we have a lot of these. Raise your hand if you're in the middle school jazz band, which is like almost all of them, yeah. So if you are not able to come tomorrow night because you're not a parent of one of those students, make sure you watch tomorrow night, 7:30. You can watch these guys play some pretty cool jazz music. It's a lot of fun. Okay, we're going to get to our last song here. This is called Christmas Classics. This arrangement is from, I want to say it's like 1986, this arrangement came out. So these are classics for the 80s. So we'll just put that there. But the first song is the march from Tchaikovsky's Nutcracker. So you're going to recognize all three of these songs for sure. These are great classical pieces for us. They did not know where most of these came from, so we listened to that last week, maybe the week before. We were listening to the original versions of these songs and kind of diving in a little bit. But the first one's Tchaikovsky's Nutcracker. So you're going to hear the trumpets play nice and loud and light and with that nice melody at the beginning. Right, trumpets? Yeah. And then we get to March of the Three Kings, or We Three Kings of Orient Are, that kind of song. And so most of them had not heard that, so I was really surprised. So we talked about that a little bit. Traditional, just Christmas carol type thing. And then it ends with Handel's Hallelujah chorus, which is really fun. So most of them had known that song, Hallelujah, so they knew that. And so it's a lot of fun, though. Hallelujah chorus, if you don't know anything about that, is probably one of Handel's most famous works. It's an oratorio. It's like 2.5 hours long. Nobody ever does the whole thing. They just usually do this one, the Hallelujah chorus from it. And it's just actually called Hallelujah. We just call it Hallelujah chorus because we're that way. But it's a lot of fun, and you'll get to hear that from it. So hopefully you enjoy Christmas Classics. This is our final song with the 8th grade band. All right, thank you very much for coming out. I hope you have a great holiday season. Make sure you tune in tomorrow night, 6:30 for the high school band, 7:30 for the jazz bands. They are going to grab all their stuff and immediately leave. Yeah. Have a great night. Thanks for watching.